Okay, so this is a recap of the religion studies classroom, and I'm going to take you guys through it so that you can see exactly where everything is. Now, what I noticed here's already a recording. I did this in August for the first class. Here's already a recording of where to start. So you can either just listen tonight, or you can watch this video, um, and then you'll get every side of it. Okay. Then, so that's the video there. And then this is a breakdown of paper one and paper two. Now, the most important stuff is here. Firstly, this study, religion studies paper one. So I'm just going to start showing you. All right, let me just get my pen. And I've done this a couple of times, but I will do it again. Okay. So you have a paper one and a paper two. Section A is only in paper one. Okay. This is multiple choice questions. MCQ, short questions, match the column, and this is compulsory. Okay, now in the classroom, this is where you see it. Yeah, here's past papers with memos. So this is DBE, this is the May June exam 2022. Your section A, the multiple choice questions, all of that. That's match the column. That's choose the correct or the wrong, the spot the odd one out. This is true and false, and little bit of definitions. And there is the memo for that one. Then when you go further down, okay, yeah, so that's the memo for May, June 2022. Then I accidentally swapped this. This is November 22. The memo is before the question paper, the November 2022. And there you see same type of questions, multiple choice, fill in the missing word, match the columns, spot the odd one out, true or false, and a bit of definitions. And the memo to November 2022, I made a mistake, but there it is. Okay, it's above this one. So it goes on and on and on. It's only question one, section A. Here's another one, May, June 2023. Now, why do I show you this? This one is November 2023 with its memo. This is May, June 2024 with its memo. And that, so there's 5 past papers that you can go through. Now, why do I insist that you guys do this? Is because the more you do it, the more you get to know the answers. And trust me, these things gets repeated. Some questions get repeated over the years. Just hold on a second, Collins. Please move the screen back for me, but I can't fit my tablet there as well. Thank you. It's okay. All right. So that is paper one. Now, this key concepts here are those definitions that I spoke about. So it'll come now. Why is it not showing? Okay, it means that this This thing went corrupt, got corrupted somehow. Let me see what I can do. Let's try it again. Key concepts. Yeah, it got corrupted somehow. So I'm going to have to replace this one just so that you guys can have it. Let me take that out and then I'll show you what it looks like, okay? I'm just going to do a search um, under matric because I want to show it to you. Um, all subjects, yeah, religion studies, and okay, it's not here. So let me just do this. I'm going to do key concepts and search for it because I want you to see what that is. There we go. Okay, so let me just upload it again. Okay, oh, it's still going like that. I'm not sure why. I will give it to you in the group, okay? Let's see if it opens up better now. No, it's still doing that. So I'm going to have to give it to you guys in the group and hope that you don't lose it. Um, so let me open it here and show you what I mean. Yeah. Oh, that is the file. Sorry, guys, let me just do something quickly. That is the file. I think I chose the wrong one. Okay, right. It's a PDF. This should be right now. So let's go in and see. Yes, you see there the picture is showing. So it is correct. This is what this is. So most of the definitions comes out of this book. So you know where you got to give a missing word or spot the odd one out or explain certain things. This is the key concept. So every what do they call it? Every section of the work has a few key concepts. All right. So internal differences in religion has their own its definitions. What is the definitions? Please go through it. Um, and then try and understand what it is. That's the first chapter. Second chapter, the secular worldview. Now, we don't really cover this, but you're going to get short questions. Okay. This is areas of conflict. This is religion and science. Again, we don't do this extensively, but let me show you again in an exam paper. Let's go to an exam paper and show you. Oh, wait. I can show it to you in. I know what I can do. Give me a second. If you go down here and you do this section A, paper one, just to show you. So here's some of the terms you see. You don't have to know everything, but this will come from like what is dualism, what is Judaism, what is theism, monotheism. That will all come from this, right? Um, this is human rights and responsibilities, ethics, morality, atheist. Now, some of these things you will know. I know where you maybe will get stuck is with the Hindu and the Buddhist definitions. That's where you might get stuck. But these general ones, please learn it. Okay, what is ecumenism? All of that. Apartheid, moral regeneration, all of that. Okay. Central teachings across the religion. So, what is divinity, humanity? You must know these doctrines, overcome, spiritual being, dogma, parables. You must know these. These come in quite often. Okay. Now, what I said to people was do this for yourselves. If you can print this out, it only needs to be printed in black and white. Okay? Then you cut. You cut pieces like this. Like cut strips, for example. Right? You can also cut along this line or fold along this line. When you fold along this line, somebody can stand there and you know it will be back to back. Then someone can stand there and say, okay, what is the state of quality of being? Divine. Then you must say divinity. Or they can say, give me the definition of humanity. And then it's the quality of being humane. So you need to understand it because it will come in those exam papers, right? The paper one stuff. Let me show you a little bit more. You see here they're asking about the Talmud, all of those things, Confucianism, secularism. Remember earlier we just brushed over that. So if you know this, you'll be able to answer. Holding on to traditional, conventional values is called, then you must know what it is. That is conservatism. Traditional, conventional values. Okay, anyway, you will learn it as you go along. Like I said, these ones might be a bit difficult because this is our Hindu, this is Buddhism, and we don't really focus on Hinduism and Buddhism much. That's why I say the more of these paper ones that you can do, the better for you. The better that you will understand it and you'll be able to answer it because the questions get asked in different ways but similar. They might give you the word that is missing here and say, now define it or something like that. Um, they might switch it to one of these here where you've got to do your your matching of the columns. Um, this one is a spot the odd one out. So, example, banana, apple, potato, grape. Potato is odd because the others are all fruit, or you can say potato is a veg. So you must give the reason, spot the odd one out, and give a reason, right? For example, yeah, 1.4.2, Muhammad, Allah, Puha, Puhahula, Pahahula, Abu Bakr. Who can tell me what's the odd one out here of those four and why? Maybe Imran can tell us. There's a reason I said you, Imran, and you will know why.
Yes, it is actually because if you look at it, it's Muhammad, it's Allah, and then it's Abu Bakr.
Is
So the
yes.
Bawu Allah, that one, that's the odd one out actually.
Why? Because
Why? Because that is Allah is a creator, Muhammad is a prophet, Abu Bakr is a name of a prophet as well. So
in which
um,
religion?
in Islam.
There we go. That's the answer I was looking for. You can say the
Yeah,
other
I know.
three. Yes,
Yeah.
the other three is all leaders in Islam, whereas you don't have to know that Baha'u'llah is part of the Baha'i faith. You don't have to know that. If you know the other three are Islam, you'll still get it right. Okay. Sorry if I picked on you, but I think you know why. Okay. Um, so this kind of thing,
Don't
right?
worry, it's okay.
Sure. Okay. So, you need to know the key concepts and you need to know the paper one year, that paper one, right? So practice paper one, study this, and it'll help you to answer paper one. All right. Now, this particular document is exactly this one, it starts this document, right? And I'll show you now what I mean when I say it starts. Okay. Look on the left side. If I move the mouse now, it's going to disturb the what you can see. If you look, wait, let me just do this. Make it a bit bigger and bring that down. Right. Look on the left in blue. Paper one is all topics. Okay. section A, multiple choice, is compulsory. That's what I wrote already. And then you're going to have about, in the paper, you'll have 4 or 5 questions. This is after section A, right? You'll have 4 or 5 questions. That means you must only answer 2. So if we go back here, you have section B. Let me just split. So this is section A, section B. This one, you must only answer 2. Okay, so it's this one here, 1 question and 2 questions. So a total of 3 questions in paper 1. Okay, right. Now paper 2, no multiple choice questions, no short questions. This one starts straight away. Okay, there's a question. Let's see. Only those. Okay, now I'm going to show you of the 2 what you must answer. But you only need to answer 3 questions. So watch. This is what you must answer. Let's go back here. So now you've seen, you must choose 2 of these here on the left. Wait, let me make it a little bit smaller. Yeah. So you see on the left, the topics on paper 1 is religious freedom and human rights. Sorry, look at topic 1. Appreciation of the uniqueness of various religions and religious teachings. Okay? That comes out of study guide book 1. So let's go here. I'm going to close that. Here's the study guides. Here's book 1. It says O1. Okay? I'm opening the book. Right. So, yeah. Oh no, so sorry, this is still the key concepts that you've already got in that other booklet. Now, here's Christianity. They have 3 different branches in Christianity: Catholics, Protestants, Eastern Orthodox. And you need to know their differences and similarities. Okay? I'm just going to go through very quickly. Then, the other thing you must know is their beliefs, their teachings. Beliefs and teachings is the same thing. Then you get to the practices, which is on another page. This is governance first. How are they governed? And then there's the practices. So someone asked me in the week, what is the difference between beliefs and practices? So I'm going to go to Christianity because that's the one I know the best, right? So in Christianity, they believe in the Trinity, the 3-in-1 God. They believe that there is God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. They are all one. They are God, but they had different purposes. Okay? That's what they believe. Then their practice is things like Holy Communion. I'll show you here quickly, for example. They call it the Eucharist. Okay, I don't see it here right now. Must be here. When they practice taking Holy Communion. Here, let's look at this one. The Protestants reject celibacy. Now, celibacy is an obligation, a practice. In the Catholic Church, a priest cannot be married. He has to be celibate, no sex, right? In the Protestant faith, they say no, our priests can marry. In Orthodox, celibacy is optional. Okay, so that is a practice. A practice is a thing you do. A belief is a thing you follow because that was taught to you. And it's something you believe and then you follow. Okay. And then governance, if you think of the governor, governed, how are they governed? In other words, who rules them? The Pope in the Catholic Church. The Pope is an important figure, but he's not the one in the Protestant, for example. Right. So let's go back here. You're going to look at religious teachings, practices, and faith and governance, but you also do it in paper two. But I'm going to come to paper two again. So you need to know the general. Paper one is most religions. Paper two is only one religion. Okay? So paper one, it's comparison of religions, it's comparison of things that we believe, it's comparisons between the different religions. Now we cover about 5 religions. The main ones that we cover is Christianity, Islam, um, African traditional religion. Uh, we don't really cover Hinduism and Buddhism, but it is part of it. So you don't have to, because if you don't know it, you don't have to answer it. And we don't cover it because we don't really have Hindus or Buddhists in our midst. And so we feel that to study everything is almost, you need to get to your exam. Can I just ask, is there anybody that is new that is one of those two faiths? Either Hindu or Buddha? Because I don't want to offend anyone by not doing their faith. Okay. No one is saying anything. Maybe you can contact me afterwards in private if you want. If I have offended you in any way, I apologize in advance. Okay. Then book 5, religious freedoms, human rights, and responsibilities. So look here. I'm going to close book 1 now. Here's book 5. Religious freedoms. And this tells you, what does religion say about human rights and religious freedom? What is religious tolerance, for example? The relationship between religious freedoms and tolerance. Religious tolerance, again. And then they look at human rights, human rights and responsibilities. And they look at these different people here. The Baha'i international community and how they help people to ensure the human rights. The Karuna, not sure what faith that is. I know the first one is the Baha'i faith. Gift of the Givers, Islam. The Salvation Army, Christian. So those are people, organizations, churches, whatever, that gives to the poor and enforces and fights for the human rights of people. Now I know the Salvation Army fights very hard for anti-human trafficking. I'm a Salvation Army born and raised person. I was born in the Salvation Army, so I know this was my church all the years. Some of you would know the Gift of the Givers, very big in what they do. Okay, so this one will show you the human rights. So when there's a human rights question, yeah, um, this is the one that you study. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. That is another question that you could get in your paper. Now, I say to people, do question number 1 because it's pretty easy. We'll look through it again. Do question number 2 or topic 2 and then choose either conflict or media. Now, media, you must know the news. You must know what's happening in Israel, for example. You must know what happened in Darfur, South Sudan. You must know what happened, but human rights inequalities and conflict and how they were in the media. So we look at how is religion a part of the problem in the media, and how is the religion a part of the solution in the media. So media, for instance, if you think nowadays of social media and everything that is published, what is morally correct? So remember, you only need to answer two questions in this section. So I suggest to people, let's go look at the question paper so that we know for sure what we are getting. Yes, NEC papers. Let's go look at, yes, May, June 2024. It is a paper one. We're not going to look at number one, section A now. So this is what I said. Question two is a little bit of everything. So there, give two brief explanations of Salah, unity, and dogma. Now remember what I said. If you know those terms, those words, then that's more than enough for you to actually say what it is. So let's give an example. What is Salah? Can we go look in beliefs and practices? Okay, now I know that let's go look in the beliefs and practices, which is number one. Okay, let's go to Islam. I want to show you how to find it in the book. I know some of you will know it, but I want to show you how to find it in the book. Right, so here's Holy Spirit. Okay, let's go and see if Salah is in here. No, there isn't one in here. Let's go under Islam. This is still Christianity. Right, here's Islam. Can we go and see if there's a practice? I know what it is, but again, I want to show you where you can find it. Okay, maybe this is the teachings and the beliefs. Let's see the practices. Two different groups in Islam, the Sunni and the Shia. Okay, I don't see anything about Salah here. Yeah, something about they pray with the arms crossed over their chest, which is part of the Salah. Salah meaning pray. But bowing down, I think. Anyone want to give me the definition? Because it was in that paper. Anybody? Okay. I don't want to get it wrong. So I'm going to Google it quickly. I want to show you what they mean in the context of. Right. So what is the Salah? There you go. Pray. When the Muslims pray. Okay. There's a comment. Let's hear. Salah is a pray to praise Allah, and it is done 5 times a day. Right. So now what Imran has said in the context of this question paper, wait, let me just copy what he said, then I'll explain what they mean by in the context, right? So imagine that is your answer that you're going to give, okay? It's 4 marks. So they want more than just one simple, straight answer. But did he get 4 marks worth? Because it's two brief explanations of each. Can this be two? Salah is a prayer to praise Allah, and it is done 5 times a day. So he's given two things, two brief explanations. What I would suggest you do is split it up so that they can see it is two, right? And then, so it is a prayer. What I would further go on to say, to keep it in the context of, I will say in Islam. Okay? So when I say in Islam, then it means in the context of religion, right? So Salah is prayer to praise Allah in Islam. It is done 5 times a day. Okay, so there we go. You've given two brief explanations, which is great. I'm not going to go on here. Let's look here. Forget Unity and Dogma. You can learn it from wherever. State any two unique features of each of the following religions. So, what is a unique feature? It is something that is only specific to that religion and nothing else. So, can anyone think of what is very specific to African traditional religion? And they want two unique features. Can anyone tell me? Okay. They,
Can I just
yes.
come in there though? Because what I've actually noticed is with the African traditional religion, is is actually a, what is it now? It's the unique is the way the females treat the men,
Okay.
and the, what's the other one?
But now you've got to
I
be
can't. It's
specific, eh, when you
yeah.
say that.
Okay. Yeah, so it's known as how they treat how they treat the men. Like for example, when I say how they treat the men is that what will happen is that the men will go out to go hunt. Once they do come back, the women will then sit them down, bring them a, bucket of water to wash their hands in, feed them, those
Yes.
type of things. I could be wrong. I do speak under correction, but it's
No, they
also
do.
because I do work with a lot of Africans, so I do
Mm.
ask a lot of questions as well. But it's a very interesting religion, though.
Absolutely. So it's the respect that the woman has for their husband, and they come and they serve their husband, sometimes on their knees with water to wash their hands. So it's the honor and the respect. Very nice. The other thing also is the worship. Um, they worship. I'm spelling it wrong now. Through intermediaries. And that worship through intermediaries are the sangomas and the diviners. And so there's intermediaries is spirits between the supreme, their supreme Modimo, which is God, and themselves. So they pray through the sangomas and spiritual healers and things like that. Okay, so you need to give two unique features to each. All right, so one there and another one. Okay, so read the question carefully, and then they want the difference in this book is the difference between regression and evolution, bodhisattva and Buddha. Descriptive. Now, again, if you did that paper one thing, the key concepts, you would have seen the difference because in Buddhism, and when you're looking at Not necessarily Buddhism. I don't know which booklet it is. You see, there earlier we saw dogma and all of that. Um, I'm looking for the Buddhists and the where you would find something like that in which book. I'm just looking. Give me a moment. The Bodhisattva is Bodhisattva is a Buddhist who has achieved enlightenment, but who chooses to stay behind in this world, others, to lead others to truth. The Bodhisattva is already a Buddha to be. Now, a Buddha is the highest authority. Let's see if we can find it here. No. Yeah. So, a Buddha is the highest authority in the Buddhist um, religion. And then this Bodhisattva is one that is practicing to be or learning to be um, the a Buddha, right? It's a Buddha to be. So let's go back to where were we? Question paper. Nope. Where were we now? I can't find where we were. Maybe it's yeah. Okay, yes. Right. So there we go. Explaining paper one, right on the left hand side. So remember, it's compulsory questions, and then you must answer only two of the others, of the other sections. Two from the topic. My suggestion always is know the religious freedom, human rights, and responsibilities because it's easy. It's stuff that we do on a daily basis. Human rights, how to treat people in our religion, in somebody else's religion. And then the appreciation of the uniqueness of the religion and religious teachings. Okay. So I basically, oh, this was where we were at. So looking at the difference between Bodhisattva and Buddha, right? Descriptive statement and a normative statement. So you need to know these kinds of terms, and you get that from that book that you will go through. Um, Religious tolerance, Eastern and Western view. Now, if I can think of what you just said earlier about how the women respect their men, Imran, that's in the Eastern cultures. A lot of Eastern cultures has a lot of respect for the male. Whereas in the Western countries, things have changed. And now it's about equal rights and what's it, feminism and all that kind of stuff, right? So you need to look at the differences between the Eastern view and the Western view. Right, now have a look here. So remember, question two, as I said, was a little bit of everything. But if you know that paper one, then you and the definitions, then you'd be able to answer this question quite easily. Okay, great, thank you. Right, now we're going to go to question three. Now this one, Doomsday Cult, is all about, let's see. Um, Now you see, this is where they saw it in the media. The death toll linked to the Doomsday Cult in Kenya hit. Okay, so they're asking about the media or cults. Yeah, this article was printed in the media and public opinion. So this question is about media. And then look at this other one. Somalia's new religious war. So that is about conflict. So you need to know a little bit about conflict. Let's see how far this question goes. So that's conflict there. There's conflict. So this media and conflict, you've got to be watching the news and what's going on or knowing a little bit about conflict. Where does that come in the textbook in case you like that question? Just going to look in this one is religion in areas of conflict. So if you like the conflict and the wars, then study this book here. Religious conflict in the state and the secular state. Religious conflict and the religious state. Types of religious conflict. Interreligious conflict. You see, so it carries on. This whole booklet is about conflict. So that one would have been because it was in Kenya, so there was one about in Africa. So if you read religious conflicts in Africa, if you like the conflict story, then you can do that. Remember, you have choices. I want you to make your choices early so that you know that you can focus. Yeah, Sudan and South Sudan. So they're basically telling you this, but then they gave a different question and they spoke about Somalia's religious wars, right? So your piece that they give here won't necessarily be what you get in the exam paper or in this booklet. All right, because they don't say anything here about, um, here's some Sudan, Kashmir, Ethiopia, Yemen, Myanmar, Palestine, Israel, Northern Ireland. That's where different conflicts. Who's fighting? Is this column here? Why are they fighting? What's the current situation? Um, yeah. So if you like conflict, answer that question. Not like conflict, but like to study about it. So again, I'm going to state choose the ones with a star, the one here and the second one. But if you don't like this first one because it's a little bit of everything and you just want to focus, then you must go and look at either conflict or media. Because at the end of the day, you must answer two questions from section B. Does everybody understand that about paper one? Paper two is so much easier and it's where you get your most marks. Anyone want to say anything or ask any more questions before we move on to paper two? I'm going to close this one. Let's open up a paper two while I'm waiting for questions.
Ma'am,
Yes,
if I don't like conflict and media, can I choose topic 1 and topic 5?
of course you can.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay.
But topic 5 it comes more into paper 2. It does a little bit in paper 1, but there's no guarantee that it will come in because they put in varied. The topics won't necessarily come in. Media and conflict always comes in, either or. So that's why it's safe to do that one. But if I were the student, I wouldn't do it either. I honestly would focus on this, a little bit of everything, and the religious freedoms. Topic 5, like I said, is more social issues. I'm going to explain it now. It doesn't normally come in paper 1. Paper 2. I think this was written a little while ago. Okay. Now, what are the social issues? Paper 2. Paper 2. Now, what I want to write here is there's no section A, no multiple choice and all that, right? They give you 4 or 5 questions. you must answer 3. So in both papers, you must answer 3 questions. Both papers. Okay? Because that's what gives you the marks. Both papers, 3 questions. Now, what I wanted to say about paper 2, only one religion. So if you know Islam well, study Islam. If you know Christianity well, study Christianity. If you know ATR best, study the African traditional religion and answer on the one religion. You'll see now in the question paper. Let me show you. Now we are no longer doing that. This is the ones every few years, 3 or 4 years, they change the focus. And this is our focus this year. It's not that one was environmental degradation. This degeneration, sorry. This one is moral degeneration. We are dying morally. We are a society that doesn't follow. We're not high up on morals. Okay? We're covering gender based violence and we're covering xenophobia and racism. So let me show you in the classroom where that one is. It isn't here because it's not a guide like that. Okay, we haven't covered it yet. Yes, we haven't covered it yet, but I'm going to show you in last year's class. Let's show you that. Last year's classroom. Yeah. I will upload it eventually when we do it. Yeah, social issues. There's a booklet, and it only just covers the 3. There's the moral degeneration. I will upload it when we teach it. There's xenophobia and racism. And gender-based violence is the next one. Now, over the years, they change it, right? I'm quickly going to go look at what did they do now in November 2025. Let's just see here quickly. Religion studies, grade 12, November 2025. Don't know if the paper is out yet, but we'll check. Yeah, maybe it's not out yet. If it hasn't shown it just like that, let's try. Past papers. I think they're going to give May, June 2025. It's taking a while to open. But anyway, when we get there, I will explain it to you well again, right? So then this social issues is the one that you will look at. Okay, let's go back to the 2026 class. Where's it? Yeah. It's still not bringing up that past papers. Maybe my internet is a little bit slow. Okay, let's continue here. When we get there, I will show you again. Now, central teachings in one religion. Now, this I want to show you in the classroom. Yeah. This is across the religions. We want one in one religion. Doesn't seem like we did that either. Let's just see. Okay, but any case, if we haven't done it yet, it comes from this study guide here. That's Central Teachings number 7. Is that what it said? Oh, I closed. Yeah. Yes, study book number 7. There it is. And this is the nature of this stuff here. There is a one pager called The Nature of the World, Nature of Humanity, all of that. In the classroom, we have what we call a one pager. I haven't done it yet. Yeah, so the class hasn't done it. Um, there's a one pager that will help you with all of this. Okay? Next question. So we've spoken about um, social issues. Yeah, the differences in practices. Do you remember I showed you practices, beliefs, and then internal differences within religions? For example, within. So you're gonna use, it says here, with reference to any one religion you have studied. Okay. So if you are Islam, you must name 2 of its branches. Now, in Islam, the Sunni and the Shia. In Christianity, the Catholics and the Protestants. In Buddhism, but we don't really cover it, as Theravada Buddhists, and I don't know who else. um, and then you're going to be asked on its practices, beliefs. Okay? Inspiration, this we must still cover. I'm going to still do that with you. Then you go to question 3. This is the science stuff, evolution, the Big Bang Theory. I don't teach it. If you want to learn it, you go ahead. You're my guest. You can if you want to, but I don't teach it. Not because just because there's enough other nice stuff. Secularism is also another one. Now, in secularism, you must know it's one like what South Africa is at the moment. Secularism is that every religion has to be respected. You can't only, yeah, check here, this says, when people become actively secular, they find that they need to put forward a theory of their own, sometimes to replace religion. Okay, so secularism means the state and God is no longer the same. The state as in the government. Before, we were a Christian society because in apartheid, they used to teach Christianity in the schools. Now that South Africa has become a democracy, they are now a secular state, which means that they've got to respect everyone's religion. So, for example, um, how did secularism influence the South African Constitution? Guys, I want to tell you, you're also going to get your answers in your memos, right? So let me open up this memo quickly. That was question 4.3. Study from your memo so that you can. I was going to give the example that everybody has a right to a prayer room, has a right for their religion to be respected. Okay, so it says here the Constitution of South Africa is not based on any religious teaching, one religious teaching. The Constitution of South Africa promotes equal recognition of all religions. Like I said, for example, nowadays they make salah rooms as well as prayer rooms, even in the malls. So if the Christians, um, so Christians can just use. They don't normally pray 3 times a day and at certain times like Muslims do. So therefore, we don't always need a prayer room. But to take the airport, for instance, and in some malls, there's a prayer room for Christians. Now they've got a salah room also. And the praying room for the Muslims sometimes has the washing facility. because they must wash themselves before they pray. So that is what this religious stuff is about. The it's 8 o'clock. My clock is saying there. I didn't set it like that. It's just telling me I must go read my Bible. It's a Bible app. Okay, so do you guys understand? This is book 7. Then this study guide book we've already been through. Teachings, governance, and practices. That's another question. Now remember, on the top here it says you must answer. I'm just waiting for the black to go away. Come on. Let's take it down like this. There. You will get 5 questions and you must answer 3. So these are my suggestion of the 3. Thing is messing with me. Central teachings in one religion, internal differences, and social issues. Okay? I would suggest doing 1, 2, 3. First 3 there. This you can add in maybe, but 1, 2, 3, you're done. Okay? Sometimes, social issues will always come in. Sometimes maybe internal differences doesn't come in, then they ask about the normative. But this normative sources and hermeneutics, it comes in every way. Half. I've actually seen it in a lot of papers. So they'll ask you half a question on maybe internal differences, and then the other half of the question they'll ask you on normative sources. All right. That is basically this. So let me show you again where it is in the classroom. Right at the top, there's another introductory, but this tonight's one will be more informative than that one. And I'll put it up here, start here. Then, breakdown of paper 1. This is the thing you must hold dear. You know, in the group, the other day, somebody asked, why can't we know all the topics in all the question papers and in all the subjects? And I said to them, I share this with you in almost every class. So here it is again for religion studies. It's this paper. I just didn't type this out. I wrote it. But there it is, what you need to know. This is all you need to know for religion studies. And the blue stars are the main focus ones, the study ones. But please remember, social issues will come in paper 2 primarily. Are there any questions? So this year, breakdown of paper 1, paper 2, that is what you must study and look at first. Watch the videos on everything. By the way, we did a few paper 1 exercises also. There's a video of us doing some paper 1 exercises. Okay, here's all the study guides. Please don't go and print them all unless you see better with the printing. This is 1 pages that I did over the years. So I say to people, if you want to go and print something for religion studies, print this. Print everything that is in this folder. That's all. The rest, don't print. Here we've done a few, sorry, I'm taking you slightly over, just give me a moment. Here we've done a few of these compulsory questions, something of what I showed you tonight. Here is beliefs, governance, and practices. Yeah, okay, so that is what we've done thus far in religion studies. All right, guys, any further questions? Everybody okay? I hope you've understood. Any questions, any thoughts? Let me stop the recording.